everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be about whether or not I think this whole pandemic is going to bring us together or further apart. I got this idea for this video from my podcast Convos with Bree. I'll link it in the description down below. And on my podcast I have people actually send me questions to or topics to talk about on there, and I figured that this would make a great video topic, so I figured why not. And I think the answer to this question is really dependent on your relationships with people, and I think that for the most part I can honestly say I think that this pandemic is bringing people together because it's forcing you to spend time with people that you didn't get a chance to spend time with maybe before because you were so busy and you were always just on the go and on the move. You know, take time to really like sit down and like spend time with the people that really matter. So I do think that for the most part it is bringing people together. We see now people are heavily doing like Instagram lives and finding a way to connect with people and actually taking that time to interact with those around them. And you know, especially for working moms, you know, they get a chance to just sit at home and spend time with their kids. Even if it, you know, is stressful doing that, it's still a good thing. But you do also have the flip side to it, right? So you're gonna have relationships where, you know, if you don't have that strong foundation, then it's not going to be good. You know, there are some people that are kind of dependent on the fact that they, you know, they might have a long distance relationship, or say, you know, both of the people are working a lot. They kind of depend on that to save their relationship. Like the fact that they don't have to be around each other so much, it gives you an excuse to not, you know, like when you're not around somebody a lot, you don't really have like a lot of room to deal with issues. Like it's easier to sweep things under the rug when you're barely seeing that person. So being forced to quarantine with them for as long as we've been quarantined, it forces those issues to kind of arise and for you to deal with that. And you know, you can't run from your issues anymore. They're right there in your house and you can't go anywhere. So and I've actually heard of situations where married people who were kind of used to seeing each other every once in a while, now that they've been quarantined, they're finding stuff out that they didn't know, or there are certain qualities about that person that they're realizing they don't want to deal with. And some people are even getting divorced during quarantine because they're just now realizing like, oh wait, this isn't going to work long term. So I think that even though some relationships are ending through this pandemic, I think overall it's benefiting everybody because it's really making you reevaluate everything, and it's bringing those issues to the forefront, and it's making you face things head on. And you know, I think that it's important that you have a strong foundation, because without that, when you're going through stuff like this, it's gonna wear you down. And you know, you have to find ways to deal with it. And even, you know, because you do need a break sometimes, right? You do need a break. Maybe go in the next room or whatever and take like an hour or so to yourself. But that's just like the relationship aspect. I think that when it comes to friendships, I think that it makes you value your friends more. All those times that you decided not to hang out, or you didn't set aside enough time in your life to dedicate to those friendships, now you're gonna want to see your friends because that was taken away from you. It's different when you have that control on your own to say, oh, like, no, I'm busy, like I can't. Now you value, like, you know, face-to-face interactions, and now you're like, okay, like I need to do better. And also too, like people who say like, oh, you know, I've just been too busy with work to keep in contact with my friends. Well, now you have plenty of time. And let me tell you something. If you have people who have used that excuse, like, oh, I'm too busy, I have too much going on, like, I can't just, because I've dealt with this before where people would constantly not, hit me up or hit me back. And it was always the excuse of, yeah, I have work and school. And I'm a firm believer that you will make time for people that you care about. But that's another topic for another day. But I say that to say that if you're dealing with that, if you were dealing with that before this pandemic and they're still not talking to you during this pandemic, and that they're sitting at home doing nothing, then they just don't want to talk to you, because this is the perfect opportunity to reconnect with people that you didn't really get a chance to before. And I think that overall, this is giving us a chance to reset and just take a breather. I know there are a lot of people out there who are like, you know what, I need to make the next big business move. I need to, get stuff going. But I think this is good for some people who are just always on the go, always on the move. The first person I can think of when I say that is like Kevin Hart. Like, he has movie after movie after movie. Like, people who are just constantly on the go and they never give their body and their mind a break. This is your time. This is not the time for you to like force yourself to come up with another project or another business move, because your mental health is the most important. And I think that this is a great time to restart and refresh your mind, your brain, and your body, and to just take a breather. And I'm not like an overly religious person, but I do think that this is God's way of saying, like, yo, y'all need to chill. Like, sit down, stop worrying about all this other stuff that matters, all getting your hair done and nails done, and these fancy cars and all this and that. Like, because as you can see, none of that matters now. None of that matters. Like, people aren't getting their hair, well, some people are, even though they're not supposed to. People aren't able to get their hair done or their nails done or their eyebrows done. Men, there's a lot of men out here who are freaking out because they can't get their hair cut. Like, things that we thought were so important actually didn't really matter at the end of the day. So I think that overall, I think this is going to end up benefiting us. Obviously that's not going to apply to everybody, because there are some people that are being directly affected by this virus, and I want to give my prayers to those that are dealing with that or have lost any close family members or friends from it. I mean, this is like a really difficult time for everybody, but I think that if you are in good health and you're able to be with your family, I think that's something to cherish. I don't think that that's something to complain about. I get that everybody wants to go outside, but I think it's more important that we take this time, because I think this is probably going to be the only time where everything is just completely shut down and you actually have an excuse to stay at home and just revive yourself. But yeah, that's what I think. Let me know in the comments whether or not you guys think this virus is going to bring people together or push them further apart. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.